Hello friends, today we are going to start our new topic in R called vector, and we shall see a vector with more than one element, numeric vectors, character vectors, and more functions which can be used to create vectors in R. So by introduction, vector is the sequence of the same data elements of the same basic type, meaning that a vector can have different data elements, can have numeric vectors as well as we can have character vectors. Let us start by creating a vector of one dimension, or a vector which has one element. Let's say we have x, we assign it to 12. This is the vector, but it's a vector of one dimension, or it's a vector which has one element. To understand if it is a vector or not, there is this function called is.vector. Inside this function you have to provide x. So if you execute this, it will give you true that it is a vector, as well as on your R environment it will appear that x is equal to 12. So this is the vector, but it's a vector of one element and it has a length of 1. So let's see a vector with more than one element. Let's say we have z, and then we assign this to following. Let's say 20, 13, 67, 90, 87. If we execute this, it will give us error and it won't appear even in our R environment. Simply because we are supposed to provide a function after this assignment operator, and this function is called concatenation function, or sometimes we call it concatenate. We have to provide here C, and then into bracket we have to provide our elements into bracket. Once you do like this and execute this, you will get your vector appeared on your R environment. So this is how we can create a vector with more than one element. We have to use a concatenation function C, and inside the bracket we have to provide our elements. So after seeing this, let's jump to the next one, how we can create a numeric vectors and how to understand if it is a numeric vector or not. Let's say you have V, and this, it has the following elements. After executing this, we want to know if it is a numeric or a character vector. There is a function called is.numeric. Then inside you have to provide V. If you execute this, it will give you true that it is a numeric vector. Let's try if we ask if it is a character or not. Is.character, then V. It has given us false, meaning that it is not a character, it is a numeric vector. So you can create a number of numeric vectors in R by using a concatenation function. So let's see next one how we can do for the character vector. Let's say you have y, and then inside this y you have, let's say, a, you have b. You can provide different characters inside. Yes. And then let's see if it is a numeric or not. Is dot numeric. Then inside we have to provide y. Let's run all this together. If you see on our console, it has returned a false, meaning that it is not a numeric. So if we use the function is dot character, and then we provide y, the name of our object. If you execute this, it will give a true, meaning that it is true that it is a character. So in R, if you mix a character vector with a numeric vector, R will automatically understand it is as a character vector. For example, I have A. We have A. Then let's combine 10. Then yes. Then let's run this first. And then let's see if it is a numeric or a character. If we see inside, we have 10, and then this is the number, and the rest are characters. So if I say is dot numeric, then provide a, R will return it is false, that it is not a numeric. What if we ask if it is a character? Is dot character. It will say true, it is a character. So if you mix elements, numeric and character elements, automatically R will understand it is as a character. So lastly, let's see functions that we can use to create vectors, inbuilt functions that we can use them to create vectors in R. First we have sec, which means stand for sequence, and also we have rep, which stands for replicate. So let's see how each functions works. Let's say if you write sec. To know more about this function, you can place a cursor before the bracket and then press F1. R will provide you a help how to use this function. If you read this, it tells you that you have to provide element inside the function from to by. So if I say from 1, comma to 10 by 2. This one, if you exclude this one, okay, here we have to provide by 2. If you run this, it will give you a sequence by 2. So this one can be stored in an object. Let's say you have B, and then sequence, you can create a sequence. Let's say now you can say write 1 to 50 by 2. By writing this, R simply understand that the first stand for from, then this one 2, and then by 2. It's 2 stand for stepping, like will be incrementing by 2. So if I run this, it will create a vector which has element from 1 to 50 with incrementation of 2. To see these elements, you can use print function. Then inside you provide B. If you run this, it will print on your console the number of the elements. So this is the simple function for you to be able to create a vector. If you want to create a vector of a large number of elements, then you can use sequence. Another function we have here is replicate or rep. If you use rep, before the brackets you can press F1 to know about this function. It tells you like rep, you need to write X then followed by times. So if you write 10 times 5, it will give you 10 times 5. Let's see how it works. Let's say I wrote 10 and then followed by 5. If I run this, it will give me 10 5 times. Also, the result for this can be stored in a vector. So let's say you have D, and then rep, you want 2 times 10, and then after that I want to print my results on our console, print D. So if I execute this, I will get 2 10 times. This rep function can also be used to create a character vector. Let's say I want to create a character vector called R, then rep, I want to replicate, let's say A, let's say 10 times, and then after that I want to print the result for R. If I execute this, it will give me the result A 10 times. So guys, this is for today, how to create vectors in R and how to know if it is a numeric vector or a character vector. Also, how we can use different functions in R, inbuilt functions in R, to create vectors. So guys, if it's your first time to this channel, please subscribe, drop your comments and likes.